What's good, DW Nation? It's your boy Asante Grundy coming to you with my top 10 power rankings of the week. It was a great week of wrestling last week. There was a lot of great matches and a lot of great wrestlers who stood out, but in my opinion, these are my top 10. So I'm going to start from 10 and work my way up to number 1. So let's do this. So my 10th wrestler of the week was Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke had great performances against Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, and Rey Mysterio, as he just established his dominance and he looked really good. The match versus Daniel Bryan, that was one of my top matches of the week. That was a really good match, but Shinsuke was able to overcome all three of those people, and he got wins on all three. Even though he fell short against Adam Pearce with the help of Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, Shinsuke still put up a great effort, and he still did his thing versus Rey, versus King Corbin, and versus Rey Mysterio. So he's my 10th wrestler of the week just because of his performance. Number 9, I'm going with Keith Lee. And I picked Keith Lee because he put up a great effort versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship last week on Monday Night Raw. And Keith Lee, he's an upcoming star, if not already a star, but Keith has been doing his thing, and I see a future champion on the premises real soon. I mean, after Drew, Keith probably is next, but great effort from Keith Lee, and he's just one of those guys that's just going to keep getting better from week to week. So looking forward to seeing what Keith Lee does these upcoming weeks. Number 8, I'm going with Wardlow from AEW. Wardlow had a great match versus Jake Hager in AEW Dynamite last week, and that was a great match. Two heavyweights just going at it, and Wardlow came on top at the end, and he got the W. And Wardlow's a very dominant wrestler. If anyone hasn't checked him out, I would check out Wardlow because he's very talented. He displayed it last week, and he's only going to get better. And AEW does a great job using their big men, and these were two big men just laying it all out on the mat. So great effort from Jake Hager, but Wardlow, he did his thing last week, so he's number 8 for me. Number 7, I'm going with Cody Rhodes on AEW. And Cody Rhodes, he had a great match versus Matt Sydal. That match was a banger too. One of the top matches I've seen last week too. It didn't crack my top matches, but it was really good though. And Cody Rhodes, he's off to a great start, and I think he's going to have another big year this year in AEW. So let's see if I'm right, and he can continue being one of the top guys on AEW. Cody's always exciting to watch, and I always look forward to see what Cody has in store for these weeks. So good job, Cody Rhodes. Number 6, I'm going with Rockwell Gonzalez versus Rhea Ripley. This was one of my top matches of the week, another one. And this was a heavy-hitting fight with two of the top women on NXT. And Rockwell I think she just catapulted over Rhea Ripley with this win. Even though it wasn't like a pay-per-view or anything, this was a big win for Rockwell. And her and Ripley fighting for that top woman spot, like who's the top woman of NXT, and Rockwell displayed it. Even though Rhea Ripley, she had a great effort. She almost came out on top, even knocking out Rockwell Gonzalez's friend in Dakota Kai, but it wasn't enough for Rhea Ripley as Rockwell came out on top, and she established herself as one of the top women on NXT, and she's only going to get better. So I see some future title opportunities for Rockwell in the future. So keep it up, Rockwell. Now we have entered the realm of the top 5 wrestlers. And who takes that 5th spot? It's Karrion Kross of NXT. And Karrion, he had a great match versus Damian Priest. He did his thing last week against Damian Priest. Even though Damian put up a solid fight against Karrion, it really wasn't enough to overcome Karrion, and Karrion's dominance just displays every time he's in the ring, and Karrion is just fun to watch. Plus, he has a fire intro too. It's one of my favorite intros in all of wrestling. Like, I love his entrance, and Karrion's our next champion. That's my prediction, and I just see it coming. Karrion's gonna have a long title reign, and I believe he's gonna have a great career. He's only getting started, so look forward to more Karrion Kross in the power rankings, because Karrion, that boy can go. Number 4, I'm going with the NXT champion, Finn Balor. And I put Finn at number 4 because he had a great title match with Kyle O'Reilly, and 2 really good wrestlers going at it. And Finn, as the current NXT champion, every week he's just showing what he could do, and he's showing why he's the top guy right now in NXT. And he just does not disappoint. Finn Balor is one of my favorite wrestlers, and just big shout out to him for doing another solid performance last week, and look forward for Finn Balor to just keep doing his thing within the upcoming weeks. 3, I'm going with Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the WWE SmackDown champion. And I put Roman Reigns at 3 because he just has this aura to him, like this amazing, strong presence to him, even with his entrance. And Roman is still the top guy on SmackDown. Even though he didn't have a match last week, he uses his creativity to be able to get Adam Pearce into a match, and just pulling the strings from Adam Pearce and just, getting him into a match. Just great job by Roman Reigns, and he's always coming up with something too. Him and Paul Heyman and Jey Uso as well. So, Roman, he has SmackDown on lock right now. It's Roman's world, and the whole roster's just living in it. Number 2, I'm going with the WWE Raw champion, Drew McIntyre. Drew just continue dominating, and he had a solid WWE Championship match against Keith Lee. Drew is very fun to watch in the ring. He displayed his old finisher, the Future Shock DDT, and there's just nothing more I could say about Drew McIntyre. He's just fun to watch every single week, and I love him as a champion. Drew is a good champion to me. So he's going to keep doing his thing, and Drew is my number 2 wrestler of the week. My number 1 wrestler of the week, the current and the new AEW champion, Kenny Omega. He had the best match of the week versus Rey Fenix. Like, that match was really, really good. I know it's January, but I think it can be one of the top matches of the year. Like I said, I know it's January, but that was one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Even though last week displayed some great wrestling. Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix, 2 of the top talents on AEW going at it, and Rey Fenix almost coming out on top. Just, it was so fun to watch. And Kenny Omega, he's a good champion. I just love him in the ring. And even though he taught his mic skills, they alright, but he's just way better in the ring, and he's so crisp. And I just have to, I had to put Kenny in that number one spot just because of his performance, and he's the top guy in all of wrestling. I believe in all of wrestling. Kenny Omega is the best wrestler in the world right now. So, Kenny Omega is my number one wrestler. Thank you guys for tuning in to my top 10 power rankings of the week. It was a great week of wrestling. Like I said, if anyone has not checked out wrestling last week, I definitely would, because there were so many great matches last week. Last week was a wrestling week, and I definitely would look at the matches that I told you guys about in my power rankings, and as well as others that didn't make the cut. But there's quite a bit of wrestling that was displayed last week, and it was really good. Even though I can make a case for other wrestlers and other matches, I had to cut it down to my personal opinions on these wrestling. So thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys. Stay safe. And thank you for watching. Asante Grundy from Disciples of Wrestling signing off.